I'm kind of hoping it gets not... Oh, I'm kind of hoping that by turning the camera on, it'll fucking clear up. It's so dark. That's a bit better. I gotta put the camera on. Fucking... Hold on, people. You know me. We're getting somewhere. No, we were. I don't know where I'm at. It is 1:14 in the afternoon on Saturday the 16th of December 2023. Happy birthday, Mr. X. God, I would like to be able to say that to you to your face, but in the meantime, I'm going to say happy birthday to you now. 42 years old, making it almost a decade since we met. Aside from that, given the fact that I was awake at 5 yesterday, I worked 12 hours, came home. Obviously, I'm still withdrawing. Like, I've totally reduced my Ritalin. So I'm taking 2 in the morning, 1 at lunch, and 1 at 3:30, because at 4 o'clock is just too late. Though now that I think about it, I know I took my last one around 4 yesterday because it's still at work, and I was starting to really drop at that point. Thankfully, my client is fucking awesome, because I'm like, there's a probably pretty good chance I'll be bringing my walking stick with me on Sunday when I work again. I've tried contacting the tattoo place about 1 billion times. They don't check their emails hardly at all. I'm currently booked in to get my tattoos tomorrow at 1 p.m, but I need to work, so I'm asking if it can be pushed further back or changed, because as far as I'm concerned, I've been ready to get these tattoos for months, and I'm not the one that's been fucking everything around. I still haven't managed to hear from them. It's only just hit me today that I could ask if I can start early tomorrow and then get them to help me put all my numbing cream on and just drive straight to the store, to the tattooist. The reason I haven't really considered that option until now is, well, I had very many multiple alarms going off this morning. The one that I've created for myself, that when my alarm goes off, it's me talking to me. I've very much realized that the way I've made it is too harsh almost, and so my part inside of me, that's the rebel, the ego, the part that just literally all of us will just be like, nope, not doing what I'm told, doing the exact opposite. Tends to happen because I'm too mean to myself in my actual fucking alarm. So I now need to redo that. The other ones that I had to buy at IKEA, so loud, so annoying, went off. I don't even know how long they last. They go off and off and off and off. And I very much was awake and I heard it, and I was just like not dealing, and I was just going, I'm ignoring all of this because it was well after midnight before I went to bed last night, which again, as we know, fucks me up. And that means I woke up at 12:30, and it's 1:17, like I said, on the 16th of December 2023. I have tutoring at 6:30. So I've got all my stuff in front of me to finish my homework. But the reason I turn my camera on right now is because, as embarrassing as it is, but I put it down to the fact that I am really not a very good adult by myself, and I have very many issues, hence 716 days of videos, right? Again, you can watch through real time as I'm changing, which is what's fascinating for me. So it's going to be fucking fun when I go back to the start of these videos. On saying that, I'm really not looking forward to the beginning of the videos, since I started on the 30th of December, my birthday in 2021, and I think it was like by the 4th of January, everything had gone to shit with my sister, and I very vividly remember making highly distressed videos at the start, because that's, I think, when it all sort of clicked in, because like I said, I'm just following what it is my intuitive says I'm meant to do. Alright? I can't explain to any of you any more than I can explain better to myself that there's a reason these videos are being made the way they are, and there's a reason they're all uploaded before I view them. And the reason is, I don't know. No, that's not true. The reason is it makes it authentic. You cannot edit real life. Real life is real life. This is my real life. Everything I say is me. Like I've said, there's a whole many different versions of me, due to how fucking shattered my soul is, I guess you could say, that I'm putting back together. So there are times where sometimes I'll say something and I won't even know it until I've said it, and then I have to be like, do I actually think that? Because I still believe that we are all conditioned to such a degree that we don't question things, yeah? Like, the amount of people I've met who have these massive opinions and beliefs and thoughts about things, but when I start to probe about why and where they've come from and what it means and how it actually aligns or disaligns with what they're actually saying they believe in, most people I know don't even consider this stuff. Like, we just go based on how we're raised. I, on the other hand, question literally every single thing there is. The amount of times I've said something to my mother on a video call and the look on her face is pure like, what the fuck? And it's like, I now fully understand why people have said to me throughout my life that they walk on eggshells around me. Because I've never really understood that, because I don't really give a fuck what the next person's opinion is. Like I've continued to say, I have a lot of opinions. They're very much in the minority, and they're very much things I'm not willing to talk about until I get my head around how to do it the right way. Because if I was to just start sprouting off things that I truly believe in just randomly, I'm almost positive you'd all take it the wrong way, because you wouldn't be able to see the meaning behind it. The things that I talk about are simple and easy to do. All the things I'm trying to help people with cost nothing. On saying that, I have had a number of realizations hit me in the last number of days, and that is, this website will always be free. The live streaming will be free, okay? I'm not going to be putting it on Twitch. I'm not going to be putting it on anywhere. It is not something I'm doing to make money. Alright, it's not about that. I don't care about money. Money is an energetic frequency the same as everything else, yeah? I think we're all aware that out of anything in the world, I'm highly freaking abundant. I know this. I'm extremely lucky, but again, all of you can be if you just are willing to change and work on retraining your mind. I keep thinking back to when this started, and it was like, I remember distinctly saying to Mr. X, it's all about having to retrain our brains. Like, it's hard work. I'm 14 days shy of 38 years old, And one of the biggest things that I struggle with in my own life is clearly self-validation. I struggle with that beyond anything. But what else do I struggle with? There was something else. Yeah, the whole point of these videos is so that you don't feel like you're alone, okay? I spend the majority of my time in my home alone with my dog, yeah? I am occupied with uni and my website. The website, obviously, I'm sure you can all appreciate, actually does take quite some time to run because I'm almost at 11 minutes of this video. I then need to upload it, write descriptions, and then manually transfer it all across to my website. I feel like there's got to be better ways to do all of this, but again, I don't have the brain power to figure it out at the moment. Anyway, the reason it's all going to be free, I've realized, because this is not about making money to me. It never has been. I have spoken about wanting to be my own boss, wanting to be independent. That's a given. I don't think anyone truly wants to be in a situation where they're so disabled that they cannot work. Living based on, say, government payments, because that is what a disability payment is, does make life hard. And I say that in the sense of the generalization because, again, I am in a very unique situation. I would probably not be where I am if I wasn't. Like the home I live in, I pay monthly for rent what most people pay weekly. So if you think about it like that, or if I tell you exactly, I pay like less than $5,000 a year in rent, that might help you all understand how it is that I can save and afford to do all the things that I do. But anyway, the real reason, and I'll finish the reason why none of this shit's going to be charged, okay? Because it isn't about making money. It's never been about making money. It's been about helping people across the world know they are not alone. You are not alone. If you sit in your house by yourself with the same as me, staring at the four walls, feeling like you're going absolutely bonkers, then to me, you can, like, I'm going to have it all, like, I don't understand technology, we know this, okay? I'm getting security companies to come in. I've decided I'm not waiting. I'm going to start calling for quotes immediately, yeah, because this shit is happening. The only thing I've been trying to figure out is how do I tell my mum? The answer I've come up with is I'm not going to. I'm not worried about her finding out of her own accord, because what I talk about and what I believe and what I guess I find real confusing is based on a lot of what I was raised on. And I keep trying to explain to my mum all the things that she'd say to us, you know, high vibration, sending good thoughts, sending love, helping people, all of those things are what I am doing. I just use different terminologies for it because of what I believe. And what I believe is changing my life every single day. Right? Like I said, go back to the beginning of these videos. In 14 days, this will be 2 years since I started these. And when it comes to the live streaming, okay, I'm going to tell you how I imagine it would work based on what I've seen of security cameras on TV. Okay? This is where my limited knowledge comes in. I want cameras throughout my entire house, right? I want them to be running as security, like any security like cameras would. So I would have access to them for viewing all the time, even when I'm not home on my phone and whatnot. So at least if nothing else, I can watch Boss. I obviously also need, like, they have to be coloured cameras, like they need to be audio so that I can speak through them to you. I'm going to have it so that you can all speak to me when I allow the microphones to be on. But in my head, I sort of see it as in, like, you have all the cameras and then you have like the grid with all the different rooms so you can see what's going on. And when I think about live streaming, you need to realize this isn't me going to be live streaming and talking to you all. I'm always going to talk to you like this. The live streaming is just simply going to be me living my life as I do, no different to how I live it now, except that you'll all be able to just jump online and look and see what's Liv up to. Oh, she's sitting on her ass watching Netflix. Oh, she's standing in the kitchen for 10 minutes doing literally nothing. All of this will be able to be seen, and it will all be free, because I don't believe in so much of what the mess of this world is, yeah? But I do believe that loneliness is one of the worst things in the world that a person can fucking feel. Loneliness is one of the biggest, if I recall from uni, biggest predictors of suicide, unfortunately. Like, loneliness is right up there as one of the worst things someone can deal with. Again, I've suffered loneliness for the majority of my life. I think it's very apparent at day 716. I am not like most people. And yes, we are all beautifully unique in our own way. As my mum continues to explain to me, I am no more special than anybody else. And at no point have I ever tried to say that I am. These videos, the live streaming, all of this is taking place because of what started way back when everything started happening with Mr. X, okay? Like I said, we're nearly at a decade, yeah? This is a long time for me to have been, like I'm the opposite of who I was. And if if you think about some of the stuff you may have seen on my cameras, yeah? Like, I film everything. Like, the last time I cried to my camera for, like, I don't know, 25 minutes, 30 minutes about my foot, freaking the fucking shit out of myself, yeah? Only to end the video to see that it had dried and it was fine. And I was just like, I'm not leaving my house. Yesterday, I decided that I was smart enough to take the stitches out. So I sterilized scissors and the tweezers, and I set about doing it, and I was very much wrong, because I thought that it would be relatively easy, and then that the stitches would just pull out once they've been opened. Not even a little bit the case. The stitches are like way stuck in there. And I'm not sure if that could be because they've been in since the 27th of November. But I'm the fucking patient. And I'm sick of being the one that has to fucking remind all my medical professional to tell me what the fuck it is I'm supposed to be doing. Not my actual doctor. She's amazing. I love her. I will continue to travel an hour in each direction and pay whatever the fuck it is I have to pay to continue to keep seeing my doctor. Same as my therapist, right? Don't know too many therapists out there who's going to allow their clients to literally film and upload therapy sessions to the internet. But again, as my therapist says in them all, this is just based on sharing my story. You all need to seek your own professional help should you need it. And this is all very real. But anyway, I'm at 19 minutes and 43 seconds and I still haven't told you why I picked up my camera. And I am sorry about the fucking light, but it is what it is. I could not be fucked getting up and putting the light on. Anyway, I have really bad oral hygiene. Yep. My teeth and gums are fucked, right? It's not gum. It's not drug related. I can tell you that much. They were fucked beforehand, yeah? And I don't have a regular routine. And at nearly 38, I mean, let's face it, my ego has it in this one. It's embarrassing, but it's reality. And again, I am sharing real life stuff because I am one person and I reckon millions who probably have a bad oral hygiene routine or no routine in that sense. I have no routine. And because of that, I decided I would spend some money. I do think the company is a bit fucked up, yeah, because the amounts that I agreed to pay are not the amounts I was charged. And I've tried to contact them and they keep coming back saying this is what you paid. And I'm like, it's clearly not what I paid. But anyway, I have spent... I have to, like, sometimes I think, sometimes in my head I'm like, shit, I don't want to say that because it really does make me look really fucking stupid. And then on other things I think, this isn't about what you think of me, it's about me being able to remember way the fuck down the future what it is that's happened. So, to become clean for myself, in the end, with I don't know what the fuck the company did, but I wasn't willing to argue because I wanted what I wanted. They ended up charging me $285, yeah? For toothbrushes, mind you, okay? So the reason I picked this up is that the most expensive toothbrushes in the world, as far as I can tell, have arrived today. Literally just before I picked my camera up, and I'm over the fucking moon. Now, I brought multiple different versions, like as in, sorry, I brought, okay, let's show you what I'm talking about. The Sonic 30-second toothbrush, automatic, very excited, right? So there was a deal, and this is why I'm confused about my currency and what it was changed, because they were like, I've been trying to figure out how to buy the toothbrush and the pick, right? As a combination. Oh, hey, the light's better. Go for me. And I've Googled and sent letters to the company, and I'm like, it's the same brand. Why can't I not get them together? Anyway, in the end, I was like, fuck this shit. I want the discount. So I started going through the process to buy them. And I was like, I'm going to start with the Sonic fucking pick thing, yeah, because that's literally why I'm supposed to be seeing the fucking dentist constantly, is because of my gums and my teeth and whatever. Again, I have got conditions I don't talk about. This one I don't even remember the name of, but I'll put it like this. There's all the different levels of gum disease, and it's the worst one there is, past gingivitis, past all of that. Like, the bottom of my gums are pretty much gone, right? So it's made the front of my teeth mobile, and the dentists have said to me, once I get a proper routine and get it where they need to be, they believe it's gonna help. Obviously the gums, the mouth, the teeth, the whole lot of it, yeah? Like, I speak on cameras constantly. I want to be a public speaker on a stage, yeah? I want a beautiful smile. Again, I'd pay for my fucking gum reconstruction, but I can't do anything until I get my teeth in the best fucking order. Anyway, they are the same fucking company, clearly. So I went through the process of getting these ones, and it was like, buy one for like whatever it was, and then pay a fucking arm and a leg for shipping, or buy two and get free shipping. And I was like, well, that's a given, you know, get backups and whatnot. And then I went to purchase it, and it was one of those things where it was like, by now, like as part of a set, like, because as soon as I purchased the picks, the next thing that came up was the brushes, which is perfect because that was what I wanted as well. And it was like sort of like adding it as they went. And again, it was like if you buy one, it's going to work at this price too. And then I'm sort of the person who looks at the bulk price to work it out differently. And it worked out far better to get 3 of these than just one, right? The only thing I didn't get, and I'm pissed about, and the reason I didn't get it is because they were charging me instantly as I was going through this process. It wasn't like I got to the end and then had to pay. So as I'm going through buying these, I'm getting notifications from my bank account telling me the money that's coming out, and the money coming out of my account wasn't matching the money that I'd agreed to pay on the screen. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because I got to the end and they had the foaming toothpaste, which I really wanted. But considering I now had 2 purchases coming out of my account, completely different prices to what I'd already agreed to. And at this point, I remembered I needed to be taking screenshots. So I took a screenshot of the toothbrushes. I didn't realize I needed to take one of the pics, my bad. Though I still reckon if I go to Google and find it, I should be able to prove it. But anyway, so the only thing I didn't get was the toothpaste because it was a certain price online, and I knew they were going to charge me a completely different price based on the first 2. But anyway, I am over the fucking moon. Yes, I spent $285 on toothbrushes. I feel completely fine with that. Okay? I know people don't understand how it is that I talk about money the way I do, but that's because, as far as I can tell, nobody I know in reality, or even perhaps anyone who watches me, understands exactly what I'm trying to say. And in all fairness, I don't really know how to explain what I'm trying to say either. But these are the things that I will never, ever, ever fucking charge people for. Okay? Energetic vibrations are something every single thing exists of. Everything. Me, you, the computer you're on, the phone you're on, the couch, where you're standing, what you're sitting, whatever the fuck, every single thing in this universe is an energetic vibration. Same as money. Alright? Once you get to the level of abundance, see, my vibrations, I guess in a way, I'm really lucky because I understand the deeper sense of how the universe works. My 3D self, human live, has lived in fear, I've realized, my entire life. As I said, I now see why people talk about eggshells around me, because you say, if I say one thing to my mum and she doesn't approve, she's like me, you can see it all over her face. The last time I talked to her, I literally was like, are you angry at me now because of what I've said? Because her whole demeanor changed. And she just constantly says things to me like, do you really do that? Do you really say that? Do you really ask these things? And I'm like, didn't you raise me to not be a sheep, to be myself, to be who I'm supposed to be? I said, that's exactly what I'm doing. So if I tell you I've said something or asked something or done something, I'm telling you the truth. And all the shock looks on your faces aren't going to change who I am. Now, I have wanted to go live for a long time. I've been trying to figure out how and when to do it. I originally thought I would go live as in, again, live cameras in my house to live speaking to you is going to be different. The daily videos where I talk and upload are going to be completely separate. Again, I have no idea how this other stuff is going to work, yeah? I've decided I want it installed immediately, right? Now, my mum is coming over for my graduation in June, yeah? That gives me between now and then to figure out what I'm going to say or do, right? I'm hoping whatever cameras I get are going to be fucking small and not overly noticeable, because let's face it, they're going to be running 24/7, even just so that I am aware of what's going on. But I want you all to be able to go to a part in my website and just be like, you know, if you're bored or you're lonely and you just want some company, I just want you to be able to click on something and just be able to watch me doing my thing. Most people might find that really dumb. Some people might find it really helpful. I myself have been wanting to live stream for so long, it's unbelievable. Every time I have some fun with my dog and he goes absolutely mental, I'm just wishing it was on camera. Like, I have 100% realized, like, especially through my therapy session. And if you haven't seen my latest therapy session, I do highly recommend it. Because if nothing else, my therapy sessions, again, like I say, these are very real, live therapy sessions. Nothing has changed in my sessions so that it doesn't affect you. Because if you are choosing to click on a video that is titled a psychology appointment recording, I feel like you know what you're getting yourself into. It's in the title, right? And I do put content warnings on things where I think people might become distressed. Like the video where I was crying and talking about how much weight I've lost. Something has shifted within me. Again, I think it's the fact that I'm now aligned with my values more, because the confliction between me and my values with university, for example, have been driving me insane, unable to align within myself, right? But my degree isn't for rushing out to get a job. All my friends are in this state of panic trying to get into the next set of degrees, you know, which start next year, and yet, you know, uni's like the one I'm at who have trimesters, and I'm pretty sure there's not many unis in Australia that have trimesters, so it wouldn't be too hard to figure out where I go. Again, like, who I am and who I am is of no difference to me if you know me. I obviously don't want you to know my location, my address, because I really don't want people rocking up. But other than that, I am not ashamed of who I am. That's getting real loud though, eh? I'm not ashamed of who I am, and I'm not ashamed of what I've done, or what I've said, or how I've treated people, because, no, it probably didn't come out quite right. Like, it's not like it's still fucking loud. It's not like what was I trying to say? I've lost myself since moving. That's what happens. I get so confused, eh? But I think what I was saying is my values have aligned better, yeah? Because I've been so conflicted with how much time I'm spending helping other students compared to my own stuff. Now, all my friends have already worked out exactly what grades they need for the units that they're currently doing, to, you know, for the grades that they need to get the WAM. Now, as I've been saying, yes, I would like my overall WAM to be over 70 to get my distinction. As discussed in therapy about 100 fucking times, it isn't really the make or the break of anything, because none of the further degrees I want to do need me to have that distinction level, because I don't plan to do honours unless it's philosophy, and I've smashed the WAM for that already because I've been invited to apply for honours in philosophy so many times it's unbelievable, and I had originally thought that I would. That is very much not happening. As you may know, if you've watched even a little handful of my videos, especially in the last month or two, university and I, we don't agree with each other, just simply in the structure of the way it's worked. For me to be able to function and continue to study like that, I need a better something. I need something in place, and I really need to figure out my own psychological distress, because it's very much there, because I very much am a reactive person. I can see that now. I take shit the wrong way. This is who I am. I don't know what to say, guys. I've got borderline personality disorder and bipolar 1, just off the top of the fact. Those two things right there are out of the fucking 2 out of the 8 different mental illnesses I've got, or let's add an ADHD as well, so that's 3. They all fuck with me real well, right? Like, it, as my therapist and I've discussed, it's like I can do all the training in the world, and I attend therapy regularly. Everybody that knows me knows I fucking love therapy. I would go twice a week if I could. I highly recommend every single person out there who is able to go to therapy. Even if you think you don't need therapy, I swear to God, therapy is life-changing. And you may need to find the right the right therapist. I've been through a few for sure. The one before the one I've got. So my current psychologist I've been with 6+ years, I think, right? Because I've been in my house this long, and that's how long I've known them. But the one before that, for example, I only saw 3 times and instantly knew off the bat that I was just not going to get anywhere with her, And there are certain types of mental health training, like training in the sense, like, no, that's the wrong word, like support, so there's CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, which is what, helps a lot of people with the regular sort of mental health illnesses. There's DBT, which I've done, and as my therapist calls me, the DBT queen, which is dialectical behavioral therapy. And I remember mentioning it in a video at one point, but I find it really funny at uni, because last trimester we were getting taught, obviously, about all the different abnormal, psychopathology, and borderline personality disorder, right? Obviously, being a cluster B fucking personality disorder, it is ingrained into me, okay? I do not like being a reactive person. I do not like being someone who takes things the wrong way. I don't like this at all. And this is, again, what I'm saying. I have to retrain my brain. I've been working on this for 7+ years, and, well, like I said, watch the last 2 years of my videos and you can see just in that time how far I've come. So you can imagine what kind of person I was before, I would love to be able to interview my sister, truthfully. As everyone knows, no one is ever going to be in my videos, alright? It's going to be the same with the cameras, right? Like, the cameras will always be recording for me for my own security. That's a given, but, like, if I have people here, for example, the camera, wherever we are, will, like, not be live streaming, because I love being in front of a camera. I think I'm supposed to be, I truly, utterly, in every single sense of the world, believe that I am here to share, alright? Because yes, we are all our own beautifully unique, wonderful people. You are, I am, everybody out there is, even the ones being real fucking dickheads. on some level they are doing their best. You know, people turn out to be real utter cunts, usually due to their life that they've had. Yeah, I don't want to be a bitch, but I've had a life, right? And my life could, not being biased, very easily be made into a hell of a movie. I've already spent $25,000 talking to a ghostwriter, yeah? Like, I've already had that process started. Again, back when I was on ice, back when I was paid out, back before, as soon as, like, the money doesn't matter, okay? I'm telling you all now, it makes no fucking goddamn difference if you are in a state of psychological distress where nothing in this world can help you and all you want to do is die. Getting paid out by my insurance, off the top of my head, I would say was hugely negligent on their side. I personally think I should be allowed to sue them, but I've never spoken to a lawyer. But in what right mind does an insurance company pay out someone a very decent payout while the person, the patient, me, is in a hospital on suicide watch? Like, I was in hospital on suicide watch when I was made aware that my permanent disability had been approved and I was being paid out. The money hit my account and I was like, wow, shit, yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess for the sake of these videos, I will tell you it was like $222,000, just under $250,000. I think seeing it in my bank account the first time was quite cool. But again, it didn't make any difference to how I felt. In fact, it was almost like it was the nail on the coffin sort of thing to prove that I was a worthless, useless, unnecessary person on this planet, which is fucked beyond anything, because I am one of how many people that are in my situation, and you're all worthy of being on this planet, just exactly like I am. But when I was paid out, all I cared about in the whole world, and I think it's been like this obviously ever since I met Mr. X, because in all fairness, that's a 2-year thing that I've never gone into full detail about. But you got to remember, all this started with him. And so everything that I talk about with you has been talked about with him. He's highly aware of the fact that he knows I'm writing this story. Like, I told him when we were together, I was like, literally the texts between us are being saved to PDFs to be turned into a book. I'm like, in fact, the way the messages and the emails and all the recordings and everything is saved, it could literally be turned into a screenwrite very easily, yeah? So when I got paid out, I immediately contacted a ghostwriter, because all I wanted in the world was my story told before I died. Because just under $250,000 wasn't even a little bit enough for me. It's not even like it's enough. It just made absolutely no fucking difference to me in the sense of where I was at. Yeah? And mind you, I'm in hospital on suicide watch. They pay me out. I get home. Mr. X is meeting me at my house on the day I arrive home, which was the 24th of March, 2015, yeah? And it was the day later Because while I was in hospital, I had been told that Mr. X had gotten married. And obviously I immediately called him because I was in hospital and he was in contact with me constantly, right? Like, the story is bonkers, let's face it. This is why I haven't really told it, but this is this little part, yeah? And anyway, he met me at my house, right? And we were together because we'd been seeing each other for, like I said, this is a long time, yeah? And he'd been constantly messaging me saying, I'm coming in, I'm going to visit you, don't worry, I'm here, like we were together. It's, I don't know, it's very fucking confusing. But anyway, the point of the story is, yes, I found out the day after I got out of hospital that in fact he had, everything was fucking an illusion, and like the story had started before that, but that changed everything, all right? And is what led me on the path to where I'm at. I truthfully am beyond grateful in hindsight that he did go through with what he did, because like he and I are truly the same, right? I believe that with every inch of me. When you meet yourself in another person, and I'm talking about yourself in another person, that's not something you can imagine. You can't make this shit up. You can't, whatever. You can all think that I'm just crazy, was high, drugs, whatever. Every other person's opinion on this planet makes zero difference to me when it comes to where I'm at. Like, I started this video by wishing Mr. X a happy 42nd birthday because I would love to be able to just say it to him. But that was the catalyst of what started all of this, because you got to keep in mind, and again, it was all very surreal for me because I didn't know any of this existed. As far as I was concerned, he and I were effectively together because we spent every single second together. Yeah, we are constantly on the phone. Like, there was never a day we weren't in contact. I remember we spent 8 hours talking on the phone one night. Like, it was, I mean, you got to remember, I met myself in him, but he met himself in me too. It's happened to the both of us. It's just that he had been through his already life of hell and had his preconceived judgments about people, and he truly just couldn't get his head around the fact that I am who I am. And I'm not making this shit up, because as he said, he's like a lot of women, and let's face it, men, women, whatever, it's the fucking dumbest shit in the world as far as I'm concerned, but people who pretend on any level to be something that they're not, to be with someone, is fucked up. Like, is beyond fucked up. Like, you know, it's almost as fucked up as the whole opposites attract. Sure, that might be the case. But do you really want to marry someone that you have literally nothing in common with, and then, what, a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the track, you're in separate rooms, you can't listen to the same movies, you can't watch the music, can't watch the same movies, you got zero in common with your partner? I would love for someone to tell me how the fuck that makes sense, yeah? Because I'm a psych student who's about to finish, and yes, I'm a stressed out uni student, this is for sure, but I have read a ton of fucking psych books, and all of them say the same thing. Opposites attract, sure, it's a saying, it is not valid, yeah? In the sense of the fact that if you want a healthy, long-term, loving, committed relationship, you need to have things in common with your partner. You need to. It doesn't make any sense otherwise. Like, it just doesn't. But again, we are raised to believe that we all need to go to school, go to college, get a job, get a house, get a partner, have some kids, a dog or a cat, and teach them the same thing, and the world's just going to keep falling apart as we continue to do it. And it's because of what he did. And the fact that, yes, again, I have to say the truth. I feel bad about it, obviously, but I've spent years working my way through what I've done, the guilt, and getting it out of me, because I've apologised to every single person I possibly can for who I've been and what I've been doing that I can. The people who I want to apologise, for example, Cassie, I can't apologise to her face. So I have to do it in a different sense. But like, none of this seemed real to me at the time, right? And I think because of that, he and I continue to keep seeing each other. Like, as soon as I found out, which was the 25th of March 2015, yeah, I immediately, well, in that moment, collapsed to my ground. I thought I was going to die, if I'm honest. But then I went into research mode, which is ironic because I'm fucking doing research right now and I love research, okay? But I went into research mode at this point and then started tracking down everybody, right? Actually, I think I'd already gone and, I went into full, okay, you've screwed me over for a year, you've been lying to me for this long, this woman needs to fucking know, because not only has he been with me, he's been with all the escorts that I've paid for, that he's paid for, and I'd already come across multiple different women who had also been with him, and so there's three of us going, okay, this poor woman who's married him needs to be told. So I went out of my way to figure out how to find her, which I did. Again, I'm pretty good at doing stuff when I don't have the psychological distress, yeah? And I wasn't psychologically distressed at that point. I was angry as a fuck, and I needed her to know, because I truly, truly, truly believe that if it had come out before the wedding, they wouldn't have got married, right? And I also believe that if it was roles reversed, like, if you know someone's cheating on someone, it is absolutely your fucking responsibility to let the other person know. The whole, it doesn't involve me, I'm not getting involved. When you know something that is effectively damaging someone else, it 100% is fucking on you, okay? It is on you. You can kid yourself and justify yourself and do whatever the fuck it is that you want to make yourself feel better and sleep at night, knowing that someone is screwing someone else over implicit, like just so fucked, and you do nothing about it. I'm sorry to say this, but that does not make you a very good person. You could be the best person in the rest of your life, but if you are holding things to yourself that somebody else needs to know, you need to be the one to say it. And I sure as shit was not holding back. I found out how to get a hold of this woman. I immediately contacted her. She rang me, started screaming at me and calling me these, obviously every single obscenity under the sun, and junkie and blah, 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 and all of that shit, yeah? And telling me I was a liar, which was interesting because Mr. X, like, for someone hiding someone, I don't know that he thought it all through, because I've got an entire photo album full of him. And as most of you know, I'm highly into kink and BDSM and all of that stuff, and it's Christmas time, so I'm encouraging all of my friends in relationships to buy sex swings for themselves, because I'm still going to continue saying it's the fucking best Christmas present for a couple, a sex swing. I'm actually going to put the links and all the stuff up on my website, and now that I think about it, because I told my friend last night I'm sending them to her. Anyway, I did continue to keep seeing him. There was breaks in between because once I had proven to this woman by sending her the messages, the pictures, all of it, I was like, look, you can try to tell yourself that none of this is real, and I fully appreciate why you would, because it was literally the day I went into hospital on suicide watch was the 13th of March, right, which happened to be the bachelor party. Obviously I didn't know that because he was in contact with me the entire night, like the whole night he was in contact with me. And so it was the 14th that they got married, right? And it was the 24th that I got out, so 10 days. Mind you, I'd been told at this point while I was in the hospital that this had happened. And I had rung him immediately saying, you have to be honest, you've got to tell me I'm in a fucking hospital. I'm in a very private psych hospital under such severe psychological distress because of what's happening anyway. I'm like, you have to tell me so I can get the help I need while I'm in here, right? Well, I'm sure you can imagine the answer to that, because obviously I was told, no, absolutely not. None of this is real. It's all fake, bullshit, blah, blah, blah. So when I saw him the day I got out on the 24th, which was exactly 10 days after his wedding, again, like I said, he met me. I immediately asked him again and started questioning everything, and he just kept telling me over and over and over again, it wasn't real, and it wasn't real, and it was 10 days. And even when I tell the story back, it's mind-boggling. It's more mind-boggling how much I fucking love the dickhead, but again, what I've been through changed my entire life, yeah? I'm about to graduate university. I thought I was going to die by suicide after smoking all the ice I could in the world, yeah? Because once I got the payout, again, like I said, like the payout hit my account after all the truth had come out, and by this point I was so fucked, yeah? Because Mr. X and his newly wife immediately separated because of everything going on, and he had to move back in with his family, and obviously we were still very much seeing each other because, and again, I know how it makes me sound, but the woman wasn't real to me in my head. I can't explain in any level what it was like at the time, how it all happened. I can tell you that every time I continued to see him and was like aware of the fact that he was lying to see me, and by this point I already had the contact details and had spoken to this woman on a couple of different occasions, because one of the phone calls I remember having with her blew my fucking mind. That much I remember, because I was like, what in the fucking what world, yeah? Because no disrespect, obviously, we love the same person and that's okay, but when I spoke to her on a particular, I remember she was sitting in her car, she was about to go into the family home where Mr. X was with his parents, and it was like, because you can imagine, this whole thing blew up, yeah, and they've just been married, right? It's not even 2 fucking weeks at this point. Anyway, I remember she was sitting in her car and we were talking, and she was like, and I said to her, I didn't know you existed. I asked him over and over again, yeah? I said, like, I've been to their house. It was so, I don't know, it's just such a weird part of my life back then, yeah? But the point sort of is that money fucking made no difference, yeah? I couldn't have cared less. if you have watched my therapy session, you would have seen the story I told my therapist, and perhaps seen the actual post that I posted on my website about what I did do to help another person in the United States. But I got bank account details from as many people as I could, and just decided to start depositing money into people's accounts, because money wasn't fixing me. You know what I mean? Like, money wasn't making me any less depressed. Money wasn't making me any less suicidal or self-harming. None of that was happening. It was just money, yeah? Money doesn't make people happy. Money makes life easier, true, doesn't make people happy. There's a very big distinction in that one. Kind of like how I think everyone, death is basically classed as the biggest fear in the world by the majority of the population. Everyone's afraid to die, right? I, again, do not understand that logic, because we're all going to die. Every single fucking one of us will die. Being afraid of that is just wasted energy, in my opinion, right? Again, I'm lucky in what I believe in. I'm truthfully am looking forward to dying. But that'll be after a very long life where I've told you all every single skeleton in my closet and ended up on a stage, because I know people keep asking me how this is all going to happen, and I'm just like, how the fuck do I know? Like, I'm just following the steps. I make the videos, the cameras are coming up next. In my head, when I imagine myself on a stage, it's not like I'm going to be brand spanking new and no one's going to know me. It'll be people like you who've been following me, who do know me, who want to learn the things I want to teach that come. And I've always said the same thing when it comes to like me being a public speaker and selling tickets and things like that. I don't believe in the whole one price for everyone. I don't believe in that. Everything should be on an honesty fucking equity scale. Yeah, if you earn $20,000 a year like me and you're on disability, you cannot afford a $250 fucking ticket. Yeah, if you earn $250,000 a year, then you can. Do you know what I mean? And because of the type of person I am, it's all going to be based on a trust scale, right? Because obviously it'll be built into all of my speeches that trust is the most important thing. So if you were to lie, for example, and buy one of the tickets at a very discounted rate, when you do earn $500,000, you'd be walking away from one of my stages really questioning yourself. I'll put it that way, yeah? Because that is what I'm here to do. I am here to shake shit up, yeah? I am here to get you to all question yourself, okay? I want you to be listening to what I'm saying. I've spoken for an hour and nearly 3 minutes today. I've 2:16 and I have tutoring at 6:30 and I still got to finish my homework. But that's okay. But yeah, like I was looking at, like I sent through the therapy link to my group chat for uni, right? I was like, in case you all might find this interesting. And then I don't know what I was doing. I was telling a story, I think. I was having a break. I'd just finished tutoring. I'd just done like 2.5 hours tutoring and I was wrecked, yeah? And I was like trying to remind myself where I was at. And I was reminding the group, like the main group, how much they need to be reminding themselves how fucking proud they all should be, because they're all doing such an amazing job. Like watching the students from like I know it doesn't appear like it in my videos with my assignments in uni. The last tutoring session I've had did help, obviously, but I feel like I've taken a step back almost, yeah, because I am so very close to finishing and I have zero intention of looking at anything, like I've said, further degrees wise for years, because this website is what matters to me, yeah. In regards to the money, I did buy Mr. X a brand new fucking KTM motorbike, I know that much, which I still know he has, so that's quite cool. I also gave him $10,000 in cash. I paid every single one of his debts off so that the sheriff wouldn't come and get him. I did buy much, much bigger quantities of ice. At the time, convincing myself I'd split them up and it would just work out that I'd have it for longer and cheaper, which was utterly ridiculous because it just meant I smoked more, let's face it. Once I got down to like 100 grand, I think it was, I started contacting brokers and banks, saying I have $100,000 deposit. Like I want to try and at least do something to set myself up, like I know I'm on a disability, but is there any kind of loan I can get with this kind of deposit for a house? I tried. I really, really did try, yeah. Keeping in mind I'm not in my right state of mind at any of these points in time, super suicidal, just found out what's going on, want my story told, blah, blah, blah. So by this point I'd already been to Queensland, fucked shit up majorly up there. That's a whole other story, which is another one. One of those stories I couldn't even tell for so many years because of the emotional attachment to it. I can now, but I'm not going to today. The point though is the ghostwriting didn't get finished, which again, really happy it didn't, because it wouldn't have come out right based on the fact that I wasn't even anywhere near through the story that needed to be told. But it did cost me 25 grand, and all the other money and whatnot. Anyway, once I started trying to do something, I got knocked back at every single place I tried, and that's when someone contacted me about shares and stocks and things like that and shit, and I was like, I don't know a lot about the market. I know I've got a few shares from my corporate company from way back when, but I don't pay a lot of attention to them. Like I had 1,000 shares. Over the years I've had to withdraw 500 of them, so I've exactly 500 shares left, but that's just like, it just sits there. I don't want to use it, like I didn't want to cash it in for my car. Like it's full on emergency money, but anyway, I got knocked back, and then I got this phone call, and then this person, long story short, spent I reckon 6 months calling me all the time, talking to me, hearing me cry, hearing all about my story, hearing how just stressed I was. I was on disability, I was so young, I was so afraid, because up until that point I'd never heard, understood, knew nothing about vibrational energies. I knew nothing about what I know about now, I just always knew I was good with money, right? I've always been good with money. I was that person who was broke if I didn't have 10 grand in my savings account, all right? That's who I've always been for as long as I can remember. Hence, I bought my first house at 21, my second one at 24. Life happens. But anyway, this man, like I said, very long story short, conned me and took every last cent I had and then disappeared from the face of the earth. It was like nothing existed. And so the day that happened, I very distinctly remember, content warning coming up, trying to overdose on medication. That was my third real attempt, so when we're talking about suicide, my first attempt was at 10. I nearly died at 18 with my wrist. I was 1 millimeter shy of hitting the main artery, so they're reckon I'm like super lucky I'm alive. And the third time was that time when the money just was gone, and every way of contacting this person, just, it was like none of it was real. Yeah. And so I did try to take an overdose, and again I was refusing to answer calls, messages. My house was locked up tight. Everything was, don't come near me, I'm done. Yeah, like this is it, it's all over. And my friends obviously got really worried because they came over and I was refusing to answer the doors or the calls or anything. And so they broke in through the bathroom window and effectively saved my life. So again, lucky in that sense. And it's surreal, even just talking about it, I'm going to be honest, it's surreal, right? Because, like, I don't know too many people have had like $250,000 in their bank account, and I absolutely must have. I've got screenshots of it somewhere just because I was like, this is amazing. But to be conned out of almost $100,000 by someone who has listened to you for over 6 months talk about this state you are in, like, I cried on every phone call. I was like, it's so hard to explain. It was like, without even realizing it, because I didn't understand any of it, I've always been an abundant person. I've never ever worried about money because I've always had money to pay for stuff, right? Like, when I read things about people being unable to turn their heat on or the aircon on because of what it costs and things like that, it breaks my heart, because we shouldn't be living like this. None of us should be living like this. We are people, we are humans, we are essences, we are important. You're important, and I'm important, and everyone's important. And the fact that there are people living on the street on no food and no water in the whole world and everything, and I can't even go down there because it makes me want to fucking just scream. But like, it's surreal, because as I said, my whole life I've been abundant. I didn't know that I was abundant when I was told that I was never ever going to work again. And mind you, please keep in mind, the way you see me and I talk and stuff, like, again, watching me like this is so different to watching me at home by myself, which is what I'm continuously trying to tell my mother. Because I've said to my mum on a number of occasions, I need support workers. I need help. I said, if I had the money, I'd have a full-time live-in carer. And I know from the looks on her face, like, she knows I have stuff. Yeah, let's face it. She doesn't believe it's all real because she doesn't think that's a human possibility, which I feel sad for, because there are people out there 1 billion times worse than me. She hates how much I share, so hence I'm not going to be going out of my way to telling her about this. But again, I'm fully aware that she may find out about it, you know what I mean? And when I try to think about it, and I think about coming from a place of love, I'm just really just thinking, you know, by the time my mum finds out about it, she'll be able to see what it is that I'm doing and why, and how many people I'm helping. Because I'm almost positive if she knew I was doing this as is, so to speak, I don't actually know how to finish a sentence. I don't know what would happen. I don't want to lose the relationship I have with my mum. I really don't. I did want to go live the first time at graduation, as in on these videos. But like I've said, I've decided I'm not waiting. I actually am. I've got to write it down after this, because I'll be talking for fucking an hour and 15 minutes. That I need to start calling security companies to find out about quotes and things like that. may as well get it all set up and running. I mean, if I could start live recording from, say, I don't think I have enough. I would like to have started on my birthday or on the 1st of January, but I think I'm running out of time for that. But that's okay. But yeah, so to have gone from owning my own dream home and having a corporate job to being on disability and having let's say just under $225,000 put into my bank account, which was all gone in less than a year based on everything that happened. It was being put on disability. It was like it brought to my attention something I'd never consciously thought about, which was how abundant I am. Because in that moment I was like, oh my god, I'm 26 years old and I'm about to turn 38, you guys. Like, how am I supposed to live? Like, that was what I was thinking. Like that's a lot of money. I appreciate that, but why wasn't it paid out to me over years? Why wasn't so many more different things put into place? Why was it okay for an insurance company to put that much money into someone's account who was in hospital on suicide watch? So that's a very long-rounded story I've told you. But yeah, so I'm very fucking lucky that that experience taught me a lot. It did take me a long time to process and accept the loss, as I'm sure you can imagine. That kind of betrayal is on the same level as fucking what Mr. X did, I guess. I was going to say maybe worse, but not really, because I love Mr. X and money is just money, yeah? But again, it was all part of what had to happen. I truly do believe it all went down the way it was supposed to. Mr. X has 2 absolutely beautiful children. I know their names now. I'm very happy to say that for the son's name, I'm trying to figure out a way to like give you an analogy without actually giving the name away, but I don't know how. But you don't know Mr. X, and I'm not sure if it matters, but I don't really like using people's real names. But for example, when we were talking about kids, when we first met, he always said he wanted an older daughter, which he got, so that's cool. He did tell me this unbelievably unique name he wanted to name his daughter, but it was the name of an escort he'd hired, and he didn't think that would go down too well. I thought it was hilarious, but it's not the name that the daughter is. But the son's name, he always had a name he wanted, right? Oh, fuck me, I'm almost an hour and 30 minutes. I don't think people watch these. And honestly, Mr. X, if you ever do see this, nobody knows who you are. It's all good. So, I'm going to tell the actual story for the son's name, just to make it make sense. Because I think, I don't know, I can't help thinking about it, yeah? So he told me he wanted his son's name to be Ashley, and short for Ash, yeah? And I was like, Ashley's a girl's name. And he's like, it's unisex. And I was like, well, it might be. I was like, but if anyone ever tells me someone's name is Ashley, I said, I'm automatically going to assume I'm talking to a female. Please keep in mind, this is back before this non-binary gender stuff, yeah? And I openly admit I'm terrible with pronouns, not because I'm judgmental. Be who you are, be what you want. I don't really care, it doesn't affect me. But I do very much struggle if I'm talking to a person who, for example, looks like a woman, sounds like a woman, everything about them is a woman, and they have pronouns that are they and them. I fuck that shit up a lot, yeah? But I'm always constantly saying, I don't do it on purpose, I'm it's just a hard one to get my head around. Anyway, but he was dead set on Ash, yeah? And that's what he wanted his son's name to be. And I don't know if he recalls this conversation or if it even played into it at all. It'd be interesting if it did, because I'm willing to bet the wife wouldn't know. But we had quite a discussion around the name, yeah? Because Ash, he was adamant on. And Ash for a guy's name is cool, I like it, yeah? I still am that person who is going to say Ashley. I'm sorry to all you males out there who may be named Ashley. But Ash, like say Jamie and Frankie, and there are certain names that are definitely both ways, but to Ashley to me is a girl. Anyway, like I said, I've recently found out the children's names, yeah? And his son's name is Ashton. And I am so fucking happy. I'm just like, I know it's crazy. I'm so fucking happy because he got the name he wanted because it was so fucking important to him. Yeah, that was the name that he wanted. Ash. He wanted to have his son's name as Ash. But maybe on some level the conversation we had way back when we met played into it. Because Ashton, definitely what I would say is a male's name. Yeah? And I know I don't usually use real names in these videos. But again, it's not like you're ever going to see anyone I ever talk to or about on these videos. I love when people let me record myself and there's someone on the other side having a conversation with me. Not everybody's open to that. Thankfully, a lot of my friends are aware of what it is that I'm doing. So like, for example, when I was with Irvine and we were talking, I recorded the entire conversation. Obviously, I asked, I was like, look, no one will ever see or hear any of the things that I have personally recorded, yeah? And I've pretty much recorded, like I keep track of literally everything. Let's just say that, yeah? And nobody but me will ever see or hear any of the recordings that I've got. But I've got them so that when I'm focusing solely on my sites, because this website is always going to be free. Like I said, the viewing, the cameras, the whole lot of it, I have zero interest in making money on it, okay? I fully 100% realize that. The entire point of this website is so that you do not feel like you are alone, okay? And I'm not going to charge you money just to watch me do nothing so that you don't feel alone. Because that's absolute fucking bullshit. And that would just feed into the shit in the world that I hate already, yeah? So it's going to be free. That much I know, alright? But again, I've literally just had to pay for my other domain name. Like it's just set up so that my second domain name just keeps getting paid for, because obviously I want my second domain name because I want to open up a second site. That will be a training site. That'll be I'll actually put effort and research, and I'll be still talking to you all, but I'll be teaching you all in a sense. And as again, like I've said, there are things I won't charge for, but there are things that I will, because I am actually qualified as a lot of stuff, you know. Like I can work as a counsellor, I can work as I'm about to graduate a psych degree, you know. Like I'm actually pretty clever and I'm not thinking about uni, which I should be thinking about because it's 2:37 in the afternoon and I've got uni at tutoring at 6:30 and I still need to finish my homework because I got up at 12. What are you going to do? I have not heard back from my tattooist. I'm not sure what to do about that. I'm willing to bet they're not going to check their emails until tonight. Like, if I'm really hoping I hear back from them at a decent time. If not, I'm going to see if I can start work early tomorrow and then just go straight there. But I would prefer not to have to do that, so we'll see what happens. But I am at 1 hour and basically 25 minutes, and yeah, I'm really feeling pretty good. I'm ecstatic about my toothbrushes, and I cannot wait to try them out. So here is to my new fantastic oral hygiene routine that's going to happen. So I'm out. I'll talk to you all later. Happy Saturday, if it's Saturday in the world where you are. Special shout out to Peter in Florida and Abel in Sweden. I love you both, and I am 100% trying to figure out a way when I can fly to meet you, because you are two people I will spend the money to fly to meet. So on that, I'm going to love yous and leave yous all and talk to you probably tomorrow. Bye.